Hi, welcome to Spec Hunter. For years, Nikon fans in the APS-C world have been waiting for a real successor to the legendary D500. That camera was loved by wildlife, sports, and action shooters who wanted professional speed and durability without paying the price of a full-frame flagship. It was fast, tough, and reliable, and even after its discontinuation in 2022, many photographers still hold on to their D500s. The gap it left in Nikon's lineup has been hard to ignore. Now, whispers of a new model have brought those hopes back to life. The Nikon Z90. A rumored mirrorless DX flagship that could finally bring the same power and speed as the D500 but in a modern form. Early reports suggest it may feature a 33-megapixel APS-C sensor, fast burst shooting, Nikon's latest autofocus system, and even in-body image stabilization for the first time on a Nikon DX mirrorless body. On paper, it sounds like the answer Nikon fans have been waiting for. But every month without an official announcement raises the question: will the Z90 ever come? And if it does, will it arrive in time to matter? The rumored specs, if true, suggest Nikon is preparing something impressive. A 33-megapixel DX sensor would push resolution beyond what we've seen in Nikon's current APS-C cameras like the Z50 and ZFC. With the latest X-Speed processor, the Z90 could offer continuous shooting of 15 to 20 frames per second, with a deep buffer able to store hundreds of raw images before slowing down. That would put it in serious high-performance territory. Video is also expected to take a leap forward. Reports suggest oversampled 4K at 60 frames per second, with the possibility of even higher frame rates such as 120 or 180 frames per second for slow motion. This would give Nikon's DX shooters more creative options than ever before. But perhaps the most important feature would be stabilization. Unlike the Z50 and ZFC, which rely on lens-based stabilization, the Z90 is rumored to include in-body image stabilization. For handheld shooters, this would make a huge difference, especially when using longer telephoto lenses in challenging conditions. If Nikon delivers on these promises, the Z90 could finally give DX shooters the modern upgrade they've been asking for. But competition is already fierce. Canon and Fujifilm have been leading the APS-C flagship market with powerful cameras that are already in photographers' hands. Take Canon's EOS R7. It shoots blackout-free at up to 30 frames per second with its electronic shutter. It also uses deep learning autofocus that can track eyes, faces, animals, and even vehicles with impressive accuracy. Fujifilm's X-H2S goes even further with a stacked sensor that provides lightning-fast readout speeds and extremely high burst rates. These cameras have already proven themselves in demanding fields like sports and wildlife photography. For Nikon, the challenge is clear. If the Z90 is to succeed, it must at least match these competitors, if not surpass them. But Nikon's bigger challenge may be strategy. The company has focused heavily on its full-frame Z series in recent years. The Z8 and Z9 have set a new standard for performance, with advanced autofocus, high burst speeds, and powerful video options. For many photographers who already own a Z8, the question is why bother with a Z90? A full-frame body like the Z8 can shoot in crop mode and deliver similar frame rates, while still offering superior image quality in low light. This is Nikon's balancing act. The Z90 has to be powerful enough to attract attention, but not so powerful that it takes sales away from the more expensive Z8 and Z9. Price will be critical. Analysts suggest the Z90 could be priced between $1,500 and $2,000. That would place it above Nikon's entry-level DX models, but still well below the Z8. At that price, it could appeal to enthusiasts and professionals who need speed and reach without investing in the heavy costs of full-frame telephoto setups. And reach is one of the biggest reasons why a DX flagship still makes sense. A high-resolution APS-C sensor effectively gives more magnification. A 400mm lens behaves like a 600mm lens on a crop sensor. For wildlife and sports photographers, that extra reach is often essential, especially when subjects are far away and difficult to approach. But there is a downside. Nikon's DX lens lineup is thin. The Z-mount FX lenses are excellent, but they are often large, heavy, and expensive. Mounting them on a DX body undermines one of the main advantages of APS-C, portability. Without a strong range of native DX telephoto lenses, the Z90 could feel like a powerful camera that's held back by a lack of proper glass. Timing is another concern. When Nikon discontinued the D500, it left a big hole in its APS-C professional segment. Since then, the company has only offered cameras like the Z50 and ZFC, which are clearly aimed at hobbyists and beginners. Meanwhile, Canon and Fujifilm have been refreshing their APS-C flagships, winning over photographers who might have otherwise waited for Nikon's next move. The longer Nikon delays, the more of that market slips away. Some insiders claim that prototypes of the Z90 have been in testing for years, and there are even rumors of stacked sensor designs being explored. But stacked APS-C sensors are costly, and Nikon may instead choose a backside illuminated sensor to balance performance with affordability. A partially stacked design could offer speed gains without the high cost, but it would need to handle rolling shutter well enough for fast-moving subjects. Beyond specs, the emotional weight of the D500's legacy is huge. That camera wasn't just fast and tough, it was trusted. It gave photographers professional autofocus, high burst rates, and rock-solid build quality at a price far below Nikon's full-frame flagships. To succeed, the Z90 has to carry that same spirit forward, while proving it can deliver in a mirrorless world. Mirrorless also adds complexity. In DSLRs, Nikon could place a high-end full-frame autofocus module into a crop body. In mirrorless, autofocus depends on the sensor itself. That makes design more expensive and challenging. For wildlife photographers especially, autofocus reliability is non-negotiable. Some are still clinging to their D500S, waiting for a true DX mirrorless flagship. Others have already accepted the trade-offs of moving to full-frame, choosing the Z8 for its autofocus reliability and EVF experience, even though they lose the crop sensor's reach. If the Z90 can give them Z8-level autofocus and speed while restoring that reach advantage, it could bring many of them back. But Nikon's own market view complicates things. The company has openly said its main focus is the mid to high-end full-frame market. APS-C is seen as a shrinking segment, with casual users turning to smartphones. That means the Z90 would be aimed at a smaller, niche audience. This could be both a strength and a weakness. Niche products can build strong loyalty, but they can also fail if sales don't justify the development cost. If Nikon does release the Z90, it needs to show a clear commitment to the DX format. Not just one body, but a stronger lens lineup too. Without that, even the best Z90 might feel like an isolated product, especially when compared to the complete systems offered by Canon and Fujifilm. So buyers are left with a decision. Wait or move on. The longer the Z90 remains a rumor, the harder it is to keep waiting when strong options like the Canon R7 and Fujifilm X-H2S are already available. Some photographers may choose to invest in a Z8 or Z9 instead, using crop mode and avoiding the uncertainty altogether. Others may decide to switch systems now and enjoy the blend of reach, speed, and lens support they can already get elsewhere. The Nikon Z90, if it comes, has the potential to be a worthy successor to the D500 and a flagship for a new generation of DX shooters. But it faces challenges in timing, strategy, and ecosystem support. For now, it remains a promise, one that Nikon fans are still waiting to see fulfilled. What do you think? Should Nikon bring the Z90 to market, or has the opportunity already passed? Share your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates.